Hi everyone. Yes, what day is it today? I'm just wondering, could it be Tuesday or Wednesday or something? I think it might be Tuesday. Anyway, here I am with our off the cuff. And yes, we don't advertise it, we just pop in and out everywhere, so we don't even know if we've got anybody watching yet. However, whether or not we have anybody watching, I'm here. I have Grey Eagle, who is standing to my right side as always, and Chris. Are you
Hi,
there, Chris?
Rosemary. Yes, I am here. We're having some people starting to log in now. So hello,
Oh,
everyone.
good, good. Okay, then. So, off the cuff basically means we just do what we feel like, don't we? We're just popping in and out. We might stay on for 10 minutes, we might stay on for half an hour, we might stay on even longer. We have to wait and see how it all goes. So, Chris, if you could pick a subject or a topic today, what would it be?
Oh, well, I think maybe we could talk just a little bit about the webinar that happened on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We may even get some people who attended the webinar. We've had some really, really great feedback from everybody. Um, we had a lovely lady who wrote in during the webinar actually saying, I haven't had a message, but the messages that I'm hearing from everybody else are giving me so much comfort and so much inspiration, and I'm learning so much. And then, sure enough, about 5 or 10 minutes later, we somehow or another she came up and she received a message, so she was even happier still. So we did have a great time. Chris, what did you think about the webinar on Thursday?
Well,
Sorry, on Saturday.
well, it's definitely always a privilege because we get to see the faces and hear the voices of the
Yeah.
people who have had something inspiring and healing happening to them during the event, and I get a front row seat. So I thought it was fabulous.
Well, it's always nice for me because I'm always ready to talk to people in the spirit world, and that's the great part of my job. I'm able to see people, hear people. I'm able to know what their experience is about. It's great. It's an absolutely great thing that I do. uh, I've got my grandson in the background here eating his salmon with rice, so he's eating his dinner, and playing on his iPad at the moment. um, my daughter's getting ready to go out, so we've got a lot of people wandering in and out today, but it is, after all, off the cuff, so we just take it as we find it. So, Chris, what's a mundane topic? What is the weather like there in Vermont today? It's been glorious here in New York. Absolutely glorious, glorious, glorious. Except that I've not been able to go out because I'm still hobbling a bit. What's the weather like where you are?
Right now, it's just an absolute blue sky, no clouds to be seen at all. We had, I can't even call it the remnants of Hurricane Henri, which actually ended up being Tropical Storm Henri and Tropical Depression Henri. So, we've had cloudy days for the last 2 or 3 days. So it's nice just to see 80 degrees out in a blue, sunny sky.
Well, for all of the people who have contacted me over the last few days, we did not get a hurricane here. I know that the news, the media, all over the place, people were saying hurricane, whatever it was it Hurricane Fred or whatever it was? Anyway, this hurricane was coming in. We just got really heavy rains, so we were very lucky to miss all of that. So, having talked about the mundane topic of the weather, do we have anybody making a comment or a question or anything going on like that?
Well, Mark popped in when you were talking about the weather and said, so good to see and hear you. It's a sunny, warm 105 and humid here in Tulsa.
Wow, 105 degrees. Goodness me, I'm not sure quite how many degrees we had here, but probably 80, 90 degrees, but it was beautiful, beautiful day. So, okay, so who else have we got? He's fine, Samantha, don't worry about
Well,
him.
I'm hoping the people in the chat room will start to fill in their questions, but Christine came on saying happy Tuesday. Josephine says hi from New York. It's good to see and hear you both.
Yeah, we had a lovely email from Josephine, and thank you for that, Josephine. It was really, really nice to read what you had to say. Chris, keep going.
Sonia's on speaking in Spanish, but I know what hola Rosemary means. So
Hola. We all know what that means. But how nice of you to join us. So we're really glad. We get people, excuse me, we get people from all over the world, and it is nice to welcome you. So that's great. Keep going.
Josephine says, I heard you say that you are hobbling. I broke my leg last Tuesday, so
Oh,
I'm hobbling too. I hope you
oh,
feel better soon.
oh, I just fractured my foot a little bit. Not nearly as bad as breaking my leg. Oh, I'm so sorry for you, Josephine. I'll send you healing. We'll definitely put you on our healing list. My foot is getting better incrementally, and it's fine. I'm still hobbling a bit, but it's fine. It's getting better, so I'm thrilled about that. Keep going, Chris. Who else have we got there?
DVML45 says hello.
Hello. I always smile when we get these weird names. I just want to know actually what it means, or what is the real name behind that name. I just get really curious about how people have these names. I suppose it's a form of keeping you safe and making sure that nobody hacks into you or what have you. Um, anyway, keep going, Chris.
Well, they also said, glad to hear your foot is better and that they're from Seattle.
Oh, great. Well, I have a fantastic walking stick. Um, I've tried to do a little bit more today, stay on my feet a little bit more today, on my foot, should I say, because just sitting around is it's just not good for me. But what did I do? I made tuna fish yesterday. Now, when I say I made tuna fish, what I mean is I opened a can and put some mayonnaise and pepper in there and stirred it up, and that was as much as I could manage on my feet yesterday. Sort of standing on one leg. I feel like a stork standing on one leg and doing these things. But I am, trying to. I am trying to, do a little more each day.
Mark has a question for Gray Eagle.
Go ahead.
We all are defined by day of week and time of day. Does that even matter in the spirit world?
Not one bit, Mark. Time, as we know it here on this earth plane, is of a totally different concept, different essence. It's a completely different thing. We do, don't we? I suppose how else can we measure? It's a good system. It's a good system, and it's been working for, well, however long we've been on this planet. Times, months, years. I don't know if you can hear what's going on in the background here, but phones are ringing and emails are going, and anyway, but time, but okay, I'm sorry. Can you hold on a minute, everybody? So, is that Riley trying to get in? Well, you're going to have to say no. Just click the red button. Can you do
we are
that?
doing, but it keeps calling.
Oh, okay. All right. So you can call him back in another 40 minutes or something.
Finished dinner.
Okay. So I'm so sorry, everybody. It is off the cuff. This is what it's like. Anyway, time is of a very different essence and a very different way. As I say, time in here on this earth plane has worked for us for centuries, really, hasn't it? So we do measure time, and I suppose it's a good way of knowing, sort of to keep the hours, to sort of keep some semblance of order in the world. But no, it's a whole different thing in the spirit world, a completely different thing. Chris.
Well, speaking of a little chaos, Miriam's on from Germany and says, this is the last thing I will see before my phone dies. I have 1% and I left home for vacation to Italy. I'm standing alone at the train station and the train is coming in 20 minutes. Because we've asked people where they are.
Thank you so much Thank you for allowing us to take up that 1 minute left on your battery or whatever it is. We do really hope you have a great vacation, and wherever it is that you're going. Was it Italy she said she was going?
Yes.
I wonder which part. Italy, the Italians, fantastic. I love going there. And so please, Miriam, have a great, great, great vacation, if that's what it is. You know, it's so funny because when I used to travel, which I still do, of course, from time to time, but when I used to travel all the time for work, and I would go from country to country and be absolutely exhausted when I got back home to England, and people would look at me and they'd say, did you have a nice vacation? And I would think, you know, when people hear that you're going away or that you're traveling, they assume that you're going on vacation, but no, it was really hard work. But it didn't matter how many times I tried to explain to people I've not been on vacation, because many of those countries that I traveled to were sort of seemingly sort of exotic or you know, wonderful places to visit. Everybody thought that I was off there just sort of having a great time, laying on beaches, swimming in swimming pools, and but having said that, I did do my fair share of all of that too. Keep going, Chris, with this.
Anarchy says, or is asking, have you planned another online group reading event?
Who is this asking?
Anarchy.
Yes, we shall keep them going. Absolutely. What I want to know from you then is, did you attend the last one, or are you wishing that you had, or you couldn't have? What you all need to do to keep up with this, first of all, if you subscribe, if you go to the website, my website, which is rosemaryaltea.com, there's a subscribe button. I promise if you subscribe, first of all, it won't cost you anything. Second of all, if you subscribe, you get a newsletter once a month, and it tells you all about all the things that we'll be doing. Plus, if you keep checking with the website, it'll tell you things. So you know, there are lots of ways to keep up with us and to keep in touch with what we are planning and so on. But absolutely, we will be doing another connecting with the spirit world. We will be doing lots of different things. It's summer at the moment, so we've taken a kind of a sabbatical in that we're still working, right, Chris? But we're sort of taking a little bit of time. I'm taking a little bit of time for myself and for my grandson, particularly because his summer camp finished last Friday. He got a little trophy, as did all the kids, but on his trophy it said, to Reese, and then underneath, for the biggest smile. Now, how about that?
Aww.
For a great trophy? Isn't that great, Chris?
That is great.
But as soon as I get back to Florida, which will be mid-September, as soon as we get back there, I promise we will be doing lots and lots of things, and you'll be seeing all the plans that we have for online courses, online classes, and of course, yes, always connecting with the spirit world is way up there with the things that we love to do.
All right, Matthias is on saying, hello. I went to the webinar on Saturday. It was my first time and it was amazing. I was a little shy and nervous, so I didn't ask any questions, haha. And I'm from Argentina, Buenos Aires.
All right. What's the name of this person?
Matthias.
Matthias, well, you know, if you come to the next one, you are going to ask a question, aren't you? You are going to participate. But we are so pleased that you've made this comment, and because it shows that even if you don't ask a question, or if you don't get a message yourself, you can still find the whole event, watching it and watching how it unfolds, watching how we talk to those in the spirit world, watching how those in the spirit world communicate with us. It's such an amazing, amazing thing. So, Tis, maybe you could let us know. I'm pushing a little bit here. Maybe you could let us know, what was your favourite part of the webinar? You don't have to answer me, but I really would be interested to know. Chris.
All right. Chris said, I started Estelle Roberts' book last night, 50 Years Medium. You've mentioned that book a few times, Rosemary.
Yeah, lots of time.
I've read 4 chapters and I can see a lot of similarities in your experiences.
Yeah, she, of course, died way before I ever got a chance to meet her. Of course, there are other ways to meet, but I'd never met her. I've not met her in the spirit world either, so I can't really tell you what she was like personally. But her book, which it actually was first published as 40 Years a Medium, and then it sort of carried on in print, and then they reprinted 50 Years a Medium. But it is a great book. It's a great book to read. There's another book that I would urge people to read, and it's by oh gosh, I was going to tell his name then. I can't even remember the book. It's just gone right out of my head. There's a great book by, it'll come to me in a minute. Oh golly, can you believe that just happened to me, Chris?
Yes, I mean, you've got people in front of you that you can see, but you've also got people in front of you that we cannot see. So who knows what kind of conversations you're also having.
Oh, Michael Bentin. Michael Bentin wrote this book, the title of which I know so well, but I still can't get it into my head. But he wrote a book, and this book is about his father. Michael Bentin, for those of you who don't know Michael Bentin, very, 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 very famous. One of the goons, also very famous. You're going to have to look this up on Google because it's far too much to explain to all of you. But Michael Bentin was part of the goons, which included so many. Well, there are 5 of them, 4 or 5 of them, I think. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. You may want to help me out. What was Michael Bentin's book called? It's an amazing book, and I've still gone out of my head, but I bet it'll just pop right in before we finish the show. But he writes about his father, who was a medium, who had some amazing experiences, and 1 or 2 little scary experiences as well, which we can all learn from. So, you know, that's another book for you to search out. But I'm glad you're enjoying the Estelle Roberts book because it's great. It's a great book. Chris?
Could it be The Way I See It?
No.
Let's see.
Are you looking through Michael Bentin's books?
I am. Doors of the Mind?
No. A Door Marked Summer. There you are. I knew it would pop into my head. The book that you all need to read if you want to read about Michael Bentin's experiences through his father, with his father. A lot of the tales he tells about his father as a medium. Really a remarkable man, an amazing man, had some amazing experience. So it's Michael Bentin, and the book is called, I cannot believe I forgot it, the book's called A Door Marked Summer. Now, Michael Bentin was a very smart, very intellectual man, so some of you might find it a bit of a slog in the beginning to read it. I'm not saying that you may be not intelligent enough to understand it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it is written a little bit sort of not exactly as I write my books, because I just write my books as my books are told in storyteller form. But Michael Bentin's books are written. It can be a little tough reading in the beginning, but persevere, will you? Because he tells some great stories. Chris, keep going.
All right, so we still have continuations of hellos and highs from Vicky in the UK, Gerd. Miriam said she was on the train to Sardinia. Barbara Sissel is asking, I would like to ask if you have a message from Karen for me.
I do not. Right at this moment in time, we're in the off the cuff. We really don't do messages. I won't say that because you never know what happens, but we really do not do messages in off the cuff because, as I've said, it might last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. You need to participate. The more you all participate, the more you keep asking questions or making comments or saying, just whatever, the longer we'll stay on. but we're not going to be doing that. You should have come to Saturday, my darling. Oh, it was fantastic. Chris, wasn't it fantastic? Didn't we get some absolutely fantastic messages?
Absolutely. We're all hanging on the edge of our seat for some of them.
I know. It was great. It was great. Okay, keep going.
So Jennifer says, it's so nice to see you. And she's from the Midland, Michigan. She does have a question.
Hi, Jennifer.
My boyfriend is 53 and is very sensitive to spirit. His grandmother passed in the house that we live in, and she touches him once in a while and can feel her presence. His ability scares him, and I try to convince him that he has a great gift and not to be afraid. How does one overcome the fear of this gift?
Well, I do understand. It's very scary because that was my own experience. Be careful though. I mean, your boyfriend sounds really intriguing to me. He sounds as if he is what I would call sensitive, sensitive to those feelings, those senses that people are not normally sensitive to. That doesn't mean that he has. Well, I suppose it is. I suppose it is a gift. It is a great gift if you can sense, if you can be aware, if you can be, more aware of those in the spirit world and so on. But it doesn't mean necessarily that he is medium. It could mean that he is sensitive enough and could develop the gift of healing. Who knows what it could mean? I think what you should try to do, Jennifer, if you can, is encourage him to watch shows like this. We're on YouTube. I'm a very down to earth, very ordinary, very down to earth person, and maybe that's what he needs. He needs someone to tell him as it is, as it really is, without all the frills, without all that, sort of woo-woo stuff going on. We're not into, making people think that this is something, let's say, paranormal or supernatural, because it isn't. This is not what we do. What we do is perfectly normal and perfectly natural. I don't believe in the supernatural or the paranormal. I think it's just they're words that sort of conjure up, sort of ghostly beings and all sorts of other things. And I suppose it is a good way to explain what we do. However, I think that the paranormal world, the supernatural world, whatever it is you want to call it, I think it's perfectly normal, perfectly natural, and it is just the way that it is, simply the way that it is. So, maybe you could sort of get him to listen to some of our, little things, our little shows, or maybe you could, just talk to him about how normal and natural things are. But I think listening to somebody else, or maybe you know of another medium that you might want him to listen to, that could put his mind at ease a little bit, and just let him see that we're really normal, sort of normal. Who wants to be normal anyway? A little bit of, let's say, craziness, a little bit of oddity. The nicest people are a little bit crazy. Anyway, Chris, keep going.
Danny says, it's so nice to see you today. I'm going through some difficult times, and I'm wondering if you could put me and my loved one named Patrick on your healing list. Thank you for all that you do. All right, it looks to me like Rosemary is frozen on screen, folks. So give us a second, and I'm sure she'll log off and come back in. Just stick with us. All right, we're waiting for Rosemary to come back on. If you're live, just hold on. Hey, Mark, how are you? Something must have happened on Rosemary's end, so I'm just waiting for her to log back in.